friends! I am here to do some yoga with you if you would like to join me. I have my yoga mat, but if you don't have a yoga mat at home, that's okay too. You can just use a towel or you can do it just on the floor anywhere. So when we do yoga, the reason we do yoga is because it helps when our brains are feeling really extra silly or upset or anxious, and it helps our brains calm down, just like our favorite glitter jar. You can see when you shake the glitter jar up. I'll put it really close to the camera so you can hopefully see some of the glitter and how crazy it's going in the jar. And that's how our brains feel sometimes. They feel really crazy and we have a hard time settling our bodies and our minds. But when we do yoga, you can watch, see at the top, it's just like when we sit this glitter jar really still. Yoga helps our brains get still and calm, just like the glitter. I'll sit it right here. You can watch it calm down if you want to. But yoga is not the only way to help us calm down. If we're feeling really upset or really silly or sad or angry, there's lots of things we can do. And one of my favorite things to do is to go outside and be in nature, to take hikes and take walks around my neighborhood, maybe with my dogs or my family. Just being outside really helps my brain calm down when I breathe in the fresh air and look at all the trees and flowers and listen to the birds. It really helps my brain feel more calm. And I bet you have a lot of things that you can do at home that help you calm down too. Maybe listening to a story, or listening to music, or playing. Things like that can help your brain calm down too. Maybe coloring or drawing. Another thing that yoga teaches us that we can do anytime is taking deep breaths. That deep breaths helps oxygen go into our brain, and it helps our brain settle down when we take really deep breaths when we're feeling upset. And this fun ball is one of the ways we can practice taking deep breaths. This ball is kind of like our stomachs when we breathe. When we breathe in, our stomachs fill up with air, and then we breathe out and all the air goes out. Let's try it together a few times. So you take a deep breath in with me. And one of the ways that you can imagine taking a deep breath that the toddler teacher, Miss Chelsea, taught me, that I like to practice, or I like to teach other people to practice, is pretending that your finger is a flower or a birthday candle. So you breathe in the flower, and then you blow out the birthday candle. You can imagine that when you're taking your deep breaths. So if you're feeling really angry or really sad, or you're trying to calm down, then you can use your finger to help you. And imagine that you're breathing in a flower and blowing out a birthday candle. And then that can help your brain settle. Or you can always do yoga. And I know if you search around online, maybe with your mom or dad or somebody at home, there's lots of free kids yoga videos online right now. Or you can come back and do this yoga video with me anytime. So we're going to get started by sitting on our mats. We're going to pretend we have an imaginary string on top of our head. Let's grab this string and we're going to pull it up. It's going to help us pull our backs and our shoulders so we're sitting nice and straight. And then, because this is called good posture, when we sit like this, practice going like this with your shoulders, then that's kind of a hard way to do yoga, and it makes you feel a lot better when you're sitting straight up like this. So let's practice one more time. Pull the string up, and then we're going to tie it in a bow. Tie, tie, tie. Pull. We're going to sit like this while we're doing yoga. We're going to try sitting like this when we're doing yoga. And now we're going to use our chin mudras. So take your finger and your thumb and put them together on both hands. And some of you might remember that this is called a chin mudra because it fits on your chin. We're going to take our chin mudras and put them on our knees like this. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. And this is called a yogi pose. And when we're sitting like this is something that yogis do when they're doing something called meditating. Think about if you remember what that word means, meditating. That means you're just sitting and focusing on the moment and what's going on right now. And one of the things that helps us focus on this moment is making a really silly sound. We call it an Om. So we're going to practice making that sound. We go like this. We breathe in, and then we go Om. Try that with me. Om. Kind of sounds like there's bees flying around in your head when you do that at the end. But Oming is not really super silly, but we can make it really silly. Would you like to do some silly Oms with me? I know you like silly Oms. So let's try a Tarzan Om. We're going to take our fists and hit our chest like Tarzan. We're going to go Om. Let's try that again. Om. Do one more. We're going to do an underwater Om. Take your finger, put it in front of your mouth, take a deep breath in. Om. Let's try it one more time. Om. Good job. That's fun. Right, now let's get back to our chin mudras on our legs. Let's take a deep breath to settle our minds. Another way that you can be in the moment when you're doing yoga, when you're sitting and meditating, is by saying something called a mantra. That's something that you say over and over again, and it helps you focus on just right now and what's happening right in this moment. So we're going to practice saying something. We're going to take our fingers, we're going to take our thumb and move it down our fingers as we say each word. And what the words we're going to say are busy, being right here. Busy being right here. Busy being right here. Let's whisper it a few times. Busy being right here. Busy being right here. Now let's say it in our heads a few times. And what that means is that you're not worried about anything else going on. You're not worried about what's going on at home, or about when you're going to be back in school, or about what's going on with your parents or your brothers and sisters or anything else. You're just worried about what you're doing right this moment, right here. All right, are you ready to do some yoga movements with me? We're going to stand up on our yoga mats or wherever we're standing. All right, we're going to start by doing a zipper. We're going to take our hands and go zip, 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 zip. Butterfly up, butterfly down. Flowers, zombie. Stir the mashed potatoes. Stir the mashed potatoes. Ready? Jump back. Downward dog. Upward dog. Downward arf. Upward ow. Go down, cobra. Go back down, baby cobra. Yes. Downward dog. Jump up. Flowers. Zombie. Stir the mashed potatoes. Stir the mashed potatoes. Butterfly up. Namaste. Good job. Now we're going to practice some regular yoga moves. We are going to do your favorite pose first. I know a lot of you like this, and it's springtime, so we're going to imagine that we are trees, and some of you might have noticed that the trees are starting to grow new leaves. Some of them are even growing really pretty flowers. So we're going to take one foot and we're going to lift it up on the side for tree pose. See, if you're doing a good job balancing like this and you want to do a little more of a challenge, you can lift your foot up and try to take it up a little higher. But remember, we're trees. Do trees fall down if the wind blows? No, they're really sturdy, so they stand up on their mat. See if you can ground yourself on your mat for tree pose. And then we're going to grow our branches up and reach up to the sky. Imagine our leaves are reaching up to the sun. We're growing and ready for spring and summer. Take a deep breath in. We're going to put our arms down and our foot down. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So whichever foot you didn't use, we're going to switch. We're going to put our other foot up. And if you think you can put it up a little higher without falling down, you can lift it up a little bit higher on your leg. But if not, you can just sit it right on the mat like that. And we're going to grow our branches up toward the sun again. Growing. We're getting some new leaves. The leaves need the sun to grow, so they're reaching up towards the sun. We're going to take a breath. We're going to put our arms back down and our foot back down. Good job. Now we're going to keep one foot back here and reach one foot up to the top of our mat. And we're going to turn that foot in the back to the side. And we're going to lift our arms up with our number ones. Remember what this pose is called? We lift up our ones because it's warrior one. You can't see my ones, but I have my ones up too. We're going to take a breath here. And then we're going to face the side and put our arms to the sides, and we're going to make twos this time for warrior two. Right, stand up nice and tall. The string, remember the string that pulled you up? We're going to stand up nice and tall while we're doing our warrior twos. We're going to take a breath. You can put your arms down and put your feet back together. And then the other foot that you didn't use last time, you're going to take that foot and lift it up to the top of your mat. You're going to face it forward, and your back foot's going to face to the side. And then you're going to take your ones and lift them up again for warrior one. And you're going to take a deep breath. And then we're going to turn and face the side. We're going to put our arms down and put up our twos for warrior two. Try to lift your body up nice and high. Take one more deep breath. And you can put your feet back together. All right, now we're going to move down to our mats. But remember, we're not just going to sit down. We're going to move down in an elevator. So when you're getting in the elevator, you have to push the button. We're going to go down to the bottom floor. So we're going to hit the button for the floor. But this isn't just a normal elevator. This is a really silly elevator. It is full of sun butter. Think about all of those sun butter snacks you have at school. We're going to go down in the sun butter elevator. We're going to start going down. Oh, you gotta watch out for the sunflower seeds. Stuck in the sun butter. Go down. It's really sticky. So we gotta go really slow. And then you can find a seat on your mat. All right. For the next pose, we're going to take our feet and put them together and hold onto our feet with our hands because we are butterflies. So we're going to take our knees and flap them like butterfly wings. Think about where you might be flying. You can fly over your neighborhood. Look at all the new flowers that are growing, all of the trees with their new leaves. Or maybe you want to fly somewhere really far away. You could fly to your grandparents' house, say hi to them. You could fly somewhere fun like Disney World or Florida on the beach where it's nice and warm. Flap, flap, flap. Think about where you're flying. Take a deep breath while you're thinking. And now, oh no, we're going to push our feet forward and put our arms underneath because we're turning into turtles now. And we're going to move around like we're walking. We're turtles walking around looking for some food. Maybe some leaves, some berries. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Think about Tortuga. I haven't seen Tortuga in a little while. I wonder what she's eating right now. Her turtle food. She's probably swimming, swimming, swimming around in her tank. We're going to go back home. Turn around. Right, now we're going to put our arms back on our feet. Flat. Let's take a deep breath together. This time we're gonna move onto our bellies for our next pose. Go ahead and move your body so you're laying on your belly. And we are going to sit up with our elbows in front of us. We're gonna take a deep breath like this. And then we're going to do something, I can't remember if I've done this in class with you before, but it is called boat pose. We're going to pretend we're boats floating on the water. And to do boat pose, you lift your feet up, and then you take your hands and you grab your ankles with your hands. Both of your ankles. Then you lift up so you're on your belly. You can move from one side to the other. You can move backward and forward. Pretend you're floating on the water. Maybe you're floating on a calm river. Or maybe you're floating on an ocean where there's lots of waves. You're moving around in the water. Let's take a deep breath. We're going to put our feet back down. Arms back down. We're going to lift our bodies up and sit crisscross applesauce back on top of our mats. Let's take one more deep breath together. All right, now we are going to do, I have my stillness stones, and normally at this point, I would have you lay on your back and close your eyes, and I would come around with my stillness stones to put them on your forehead. But I can't do that today, but I'm still going to have you lay down on your back and close your eyes, and I'm going to tell you a little story. You can maybe imagine that you have a stone on your forehead, so you have to lay really still and really quiet so you can hear the story, and so your stone won't fall off your head. You can imagine it sitting there. Right, so lay back down on your back and close your eyes. You can take a deep breath. Or you can sit up, crisscross, if you'd rather do that. But close your eyes, and then you're going to imagine the story I'm telling you. I want you to imagine that you are taking a walk, and it's really grassy. You're on a grassy hill. You're walking up the hill. There's trees and flowers all around you. You imagine what colors the flowers might be. Maybe your favorite color. Maybe there's lots of different colors of flowers. You can see that the trees are growing leaves. Maybe some of the trees have some pretty white flowers growing on them. As you're walking, you smell all the smells of the outdoors. The flowers growing, the fresh air. You feel the warm spring sun shining on your skin. You're walking through the grass. You're walking up a little hill, going up, and you get to the top of the hill, and you see an animal there. Imagine, what kind of animal do you see? You stop and you watch the animal. The animal sees you and it stands really still. Looks at you for a minute. Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's a baby animal. Maybe it's a mommy that's looking for food for its baby. Maybe it's a big daddy animal. You watch each other for a minute. And the animal turns and runs into the trees. You watch it go. Maybe it's going back to its parents. Maybe it's going to find its baby. It's running into the woods. You watch it for a minute as it disappears. And then you turn and you head back down the hill. You walk down and down. You're going back to your house. Imagine as you're walking, who's waiting for you at home. All of the people that you love, your parents, your brothers and sisters, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles. All of the people that you love are waiting for you at home. You're walking through the grass by the trees and the flowers. And then you get to your house and you go inside. You see all the people. They're so excited to see you. You feel so loved. Your heart feels so happy to see all of them. I want you to just imagine what that would feel like for a minute. You're going to lay quietly and take a deep breath. Let's take one more breath together. Now you can turn and lay gently onto your side like a little seed getting ready to sprout. You can start moving your fingers and your toes around. When you're ready, you can come back up and sit crisscross on your mat. Thank you for doing yoga with me today, friends. You can come back and watch this video anytime you want to do yoga. Or like I said, there's lots of places that are doing free kids yoga online right now. So maybe your parents can search online and find some other fun places that are doing kids yoga. And we're going to take our hands and put them together to close out our yoga today. And when people finish doing yoga, they say a word. It's the word namaste. And what that means is the goodness in me sees the goodness in you. Let's say that together. The goodness in me sees the goodness in you. So we say namaste. See you next time.